That's right. Welcome to the side of the league because it's time for Ringside. Folks, got a bunch of news for you, so without further ado, we're just going to jump straight into it. Starting off with WWE, BWE hints there may be a big return happening at Money in the Bank. All right. Drew McIntyre, Carlito, R-Truth. Who else? Braun, no, maybe? I don't know. Braun Strowman's too soon. I'm taking away Braun Strowman. I mean, listen, I genuinely have no idea, but Drew McIntyre and Carlito are the two biggest candidates for that news, simply because they wanted Drew McIntyre back by Money in the Bank, and Carlito is going around telling everybody that WWE is his new girlfriend. So to be fair, it could be neither of them, right? It could be neither one of them, and it could be somebody completely different. And I feel like if it's neither of them, right, and then they return, I'm gonna be like, oh yeah, So I mean, only time will tell who it actually is gonna be, so we're just gonna have to wait and see who it is. Sticking with WWE, Fightful Select says they were told by WWE sources that the company is being strategic about its premium live event announcements, and doing so in such a way that each one gets its own moment. Pat McAfee announcing Fastlane in Indianapolis is an example of this. I understand what they're doing. I do. They're trying to not so much, they're not trying to make each premium live event different from the other one. That's already being that already goes without saying. I could be wrong here, and I don't know if I'm interpreting this properly, but here we go, right? I think what they're doing is they're trying to put it in its own little what's the word? Its own little frame, its own little window of hey, here comes this pay-per-view. You know what I mean? And obviously they're doing that to build hype, and they're doing that to build not hype, but intrigue, oh, what's gonna happen with this sort of stuff, you know what I mean? But I understand what they're doing, and I understand why they're doing it. If I don't know anything, I understand the execution. So I think that that's what matters here. So, Pat McAfee's announcing Fastlane. Where we are, right, bro, we're on Money in the Bank and Summer's. Okay, so, yeah, I think it's just, to spark intrigue and, conversation, just to sort of be how are we gonna get there, you know what I mean, and what's gonna happen, all that sort of stuff. It's mainly just to, spark a bunch of questions and intrigue. So, I mean, again, I completely understand why they're doing it. So, yeah, man, it's a very smart tactic. On Wrestling Observer Radio, Dave Meltzer said that it's still expected that Tommaso Ciampa will join up with Johnny Gargano and The Way. So I was thinking about this last night. There's a word for this, and I have no idea what it is. But I swear to you, there's a word for this. They got him in. He's in. He's in there. They opened the door, he walked in, they closed the door, and they said he's in. They opened the window, they said, is he in there? And they said yes. So he's in. So all he has to do now is just have the feud with The Miz, smack The Miz up. Or maybe, I don't know, maybe that was just a one-time thing. I have no idea. But the point is, get him in. Use something to get him in, right? And now that he's in, now all we got to do is just do something. I don't know. Because if that was the case, right, to get him in and just immediately put him with The Way, he would have just came in, it would have just been a backstage segment with The Way, and he would have, you know what I'm saying? He would have just walked up, hey, waka, and everybody would have just lost their mind, They don't want to just plop him down, and then he's just standing there. You know what I was talking about when you have to open the door so that the NPCs can activate their cutscene, That's what I mean. They don't want to do that. They want to put him in, oh, Tommaso, what are you doing here, and then he's gonna do his thing. I think that that's what's happening. I hope that made sense. If it didn't, I completely understand, but I hope it made sense. So that's what I think that they're trying to do. Okay, shifting to Money in the Bank, LA Knight and Io Sky are still favored to win the Money in the Bank ladder matches per Bet Online. BWE said adding Logan Paul to the match was a way to help add intrigue and help counter expectations for Knight's win. That makes a lot of sense. I mean, if you're smart, you're going to be oh, they're just throwing Logan in there, sorry. I look away when, I'm thinking, sorry. If you're smart, you're just looking at it oh, yeah, okay. They're just throwing Logan in there to not so much throw a wrench in the works, but throw a wrench at the works. You know, we're not aiming to throw it into the cogs. You know what I mean? We're just gonna lob it, and it's gonna ping off, and then we're gonna be like, oh, but can you imagine if it happened? You know what I mean? So that's pretty much what they're doing. He's favored to win. That doesn't necessarily mean he's going to win, unless it like comes out that like yes he is going to win. And there's not really much I can say. I don't know. My brain is just like, don't believe him. Just because they say it doesn't mean it's gonna happen. Don't believe him. And it's like, okay, but everybody and their grandmother's saying it's like, yeah, but that's don't believe him. Okay, zig when they're gonna zag. All right, go right when they think you're gonna go left. I don't know why I'm thinking like that. So yeah, man, LA Knight's gonna win. I mean, there's literally nothing else we can say about that. Okay, whose game is it? Finally, The Observer says Kenny Omega isn't going to appear live on Dynamite or Collision this week, but he could appear via pre-tape. There's literally nothing to say about this. I mean, I don't want to like belittle the news or anything like that, but all right, Kenny Omega is not going to be there. I don't understand why I'm supposed to interpret that as like, oh, great, goody. That means that CM Punk can go on there and say whatever he wants, as if Kenny Omega being either right next to him or in the locker room is going to change anything that he says about him. That doesn't really make a whole lot of sense. So I don't know what this is supposed to be interpreting. I don't know if this is supposed to change anything. I don't know if I don't know if I'm supposed to get like hit over the head with something, and then I'm supposed to be like, oh yeah, you know, I don't know. I have no idea. So I guess what if it's just a big phony and he comes up out of the ring and he's just ha, and that's it. That's all he does. You thought I was gonna be here. You know, and then he leaves, and then he walks off. No music, nothing. He's in plain clothes, right? He's eating like a Taco Bell quesarito, and he's just like, I'll catch you later. You know, he doesn't even do it. He doesn't do the goodbye and good night. He just leaves. You know, that'd be great. But yeah, other than that, there's not really much to say. He's not going to be there. What do we talk about? Big return. Could be Drew McIntyre. Could be Carlito. Could be R-Truth. Could be Maximum Models. Could be Bobby Lashley. I don't know. I genuinely have no idea. Those are the two biggest ones, though, McIntyre and Carlito. Told by WWE sources the company's being strategic about its premium live events and doing so in such a way that each one gets its own moment. Right. So again, I'm assuming that the reason why they're doing it to be like, hey, you know, fast lane, and someone's go, oh yeah, fast lane, and then it spreads. That I could be 100% wrong, and I more than likely am, but that is like the strongest like thought that I have of why they're doing it. Again, I could be 100% wrong here, but that's what I'm interpreting it as. So we're just gonna go with that. Meltzer said, okay, Tommaso's joining up with the way. They just had to get him in. All right? He needed to get in first. You can't just shove him through the door. That's not how it works. You can't just put him in there and then, like, hope that his, like, polarity lines up with the way. You got to get him in there, and then, you know when you're in a club, right? And you got to go to the bathroom, you got to dance your way, you know what I'm saying, past the crowd, you know? I don't think you have to do that. That was probably a bad analogy. But do you know what I'm saying, man? That's why I keep saying, do you know what I mean? Gosh, I need to know if you're with me, man. All right, LA Knight and Io Sky are still favored to win. It really just sounds like LA Knight, bruh. It sounds like the match is gonna start and everyone's just gonna like fall, and LA Knight's just gonna walk on the ladder and take it, and the crowd's gonna go absolutely bonkers. Okay, I don't know what's gonna happen with Io Sky. I like that absolutely nobody's. She's still favored to win, but I like that everybody is talking more about LA Knight winning than Io Sky. So listen, all right, shouts out to her. Okay. And the Observer says Kenny Omega isn't gonna appear live on Dynamite or Collision. Boo hoo. Sad? I have no idea. He's not going to be there. I love that. I love that I came up with that. I hope that he just comes out of the corner of the ring in the middle of the match. Just comes out, gotcha. And he just leaves and he just walks off. He hops the barricade and sits in a chair, and it just immediately becomes whatchamacallit, not a guest. You know what I'm trying to say, man. Gosh. Folks, that's going to do it for this episode. Hopefully everybody has a wunderbar night and a wunderbar tomorrow. Right, I said that right. And as always, big hugs. Big hugs all around.